You know that feeling, right? That constant tug of war in your head between what you want to do and what you feel you should do. It's that classic battle between impulse and intention, between chaos and order. But what if I told you the key to winning that battle, or at least managing it, is a specific physical part of your brain? Well, in this explainer, we're going to take a tour of your very own built-in chaos control center.
So, where is this magical place? And I'm not talking about some fuzzy idea like willpower. No, I mean a real, actual, physical location inside your skull. And it turns out, neuroscience has a pinpoint-specific answer for us. It's right at the very front of your brain in a region called the Prefrontal Cortex, or PFC for short. This right here is the hero of our story today. It's the part of you that's designed to cut through the noise and let you make conscious, deliberate choices. So let's just jump right in and try to understand the PFC's role. I want you to think of your prefrontal cortex as the chief engineer of your mind. Seriously, it's the part that designs the blueprints, plans the project, and oversees the entire construction of your life, especially when things get messy.
And what's really wild is that the PFC is the newest part of our brain, evolutionarily speaking. It's the last piece to be installed, which makes it the most sophisticated and complex. This is the physical headquarters, the literal command center for all of your decision-making. But, to really appreciate our chief engineer, we first have to understand the mess it's trying to clean up. We have to look at the source of all that chaos, those automatic reactive impulses that we all know so well.
And not chaos? It's coming from a place called the limbic system. Now, this is the old part of our brain, the ancient primal reptilian part that's all about raw emotion, stress, and flat-out panic. It's basically the engine room for all our instinctual reactions.
So what's the limbic system's job? Its entire mission in life is to make you react. Instantly. It wants you to act without thinking, to just lash out in response to stress, to give in to that craving right now, to hit the panic button when things get weird. Its whole motto is basically, act now, think later, or, maybe never.
Okay, so if the limbic system is pure, high-speed chaos, where does the order come from? Well, this is where our hero, the prefrontal cortex, steps back onto the scene. It's the source of a totally different kind of force, the force of a conscious, deliberate choice. And this chart right here, it just lays it all out perfectly. You've got the limbic system's chaos on one side. It's all about automatic reactions demanding an instant response. But then you look at the PFC's order. That's about making a conscious choice. And what's its goal? To create a delay. That's it. The result is you shift from messy, unpredictable chaos to focused, deliberate order. And this is maybe the most important idea of all. The PFC isn't about crushing your impulses or fighting them into submission. Come on, we've all tried that, and it's exhausting. It's a losing battle. No, the PFC's job is much smarter. It's about taking control of that raw, emotional energy and redirecting it. It's management, not warfare.
So if you remember only one thing from this whole explainer, please let it be this. The single most powerful thing your prefrontal cortex does is create a tiny little pause, a delay between the impulse you feel and the action you take. That's the whole game. It's that moment of silence before you reach for your phone or before you say something you'll regret. In that tiny gap, absolutely everything can change.
Okay, so how does it actually do that? How does the PFC create that all-important delay? Well, it turns out it has three main superpowers, the three fundamental tools it uses to create order out of chaos.
First, it creates something called dominance by locking on to your main goal. Second, it uses what's known as a time vector to literally see into the future. And third, it drives neuroplasticity, which, and this is incredible, physically changes the wiring of your brain over time. All right, let's break these down.
So first up, dominance. That sounds really intense, but it's actually pretty simple. It just means your PFC holds your most important goal front and center in your mind. And when that goal becomes the loudest, clear signal in your brain, it naturally just drowns out all the other distracting noise. Basically, a clear focus creates order.
Next, we've got the time vector, and this is just mind-blowing. The PFC is the only part of your brain that can project itself forward in time. It's what allows you to connect the action you're about to take right now with the person you want to be tomorrow, or next week, or next year. It's your own personal, built-in time machine.
And finally, neuroplasticity. This one's a game changer.
Every single time you use your PFC to make a conscious choice, every time you choose that little bit of order over chaos, you are physically strengthening the neural pathways that made that choice possible. You are literally, physically, rewiring your own brain to make the next good decision just a little bit easier.
So, when you put this all together, what's the big takeaway? Well, it's that you have the power to train your own control center. And this is why you are absolutely not a victim of your emotions or your impulses.
Look, let's be real. Stress is a fact. Anxiety, those reactive emotions, they are real neurobiological events happening in your brain. But guess what? Your prefrontal cortex is also a physical fact. It's just as real. And your conscious choice? That's the instruction. That's the work order you give to your control center. You are the one who tells the chief engineer what to build.
So the message here is so simple, but it is so powerful. You have to train your control center. It's a muscle. The more you use it, the more you make those conscious, deliberate choices, the stronger and more effective it's going to get. Because when you train it, your prefrontal cortex becomes the ultimate tool, not for fighting a bloody war against yourself, but for skillfully managing your reality, for harnessing all that energy and building the life of order that you actually want. So, the only question left is, what choice are you going to use to train it today?